Also on the program this morning, fire ravages building near Accra District Police Station, destroying property worth thousands of Ghana cedis. We've got details on that for you, and much later on the program, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin takes a swipe at foreign development partners who tie aid and bilateral support to alien cultural values like LGBTQ rights. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, one person is feared dead, with 4 others receiving medical attention after a 4-story building collapsed last night. A coordinated search and rescue operation lasted hours, but was called off after the last person believed to be trapped under the rubble was located. Joseph Akable was at the scene of the incident and now reports.
The story building set to serve as accommodation and shops collapsed during Wednesday evening's downpour. Eyewitnesses recount the immediate rescue efforts, which commenced immediately. When I got here, 2 people had been rescued. We went up and rescued one who was also weak. We came down and saw one woman who seemed dead under the iron rods. There was another down here who was also very weak and asked for water. We managed to rescue that person as well. It was a difficult situation. We struggled to get help. We were just 2. We couldn't get the police and fire service to come in good time. So we started on our own. We rescued one person. He was left with 2 others. We have rescued one and another is still stuck. We have really struggled. The machine can help, but the people are stuck below and the machine can't gain access, else it will kill those who have been trapped. The next 5 hours saw intense search and rescue operations by a multi-state agency team, including officials from the National Disaster Management Organization, the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, and the Police Service. It was a period of anxious wait for answers that took long to come. When hand implements failed, heavy machinery came in handy. It was a search and rescue mission, finding all trapped under the rubble. Officials explained what they had gathered about the incident so far.
It isn't a completed building. It's still under construction, but people are living in it.
So 2-story, 3-story, what was it?
It's 1 story. Yes, it's 1 story. We want to take advantage of what has happened today, and from next week, storm the community with the municipal engineers. Any story building that is being constructed without permit, you will need to be sanctioned. Yes, you will need to be sanctioned, or you need to be brought to the assembly for punishment. Yes.
I heard that the building had collapsed. I came in. The briefing I've had shows that the 4 people, 5 people actually inside. 4 have been successfully evacuated. They've been sent to the 37 military hospital, but unfortunately we've lost 1 life. So there's 1 person. They're trying to recover the body. So that's why we're here.
Yes, and in terms of what we know about what may have happened, the nature of the building, do we have some official information coming in?
Well, unofficially, what we are hearing is a 2-story. And on the ground floor, it was just a shop and some pillars. And then the first floor, I hear they were trying to do a 2nd floor. I suspect that probably the pillars that held it was not strong enough. And then once it rained, it gave way.
The exercise concluded at 15 minutes past midnight when the very last body was retrieved. That's the woman believed to have died. 4 others are said to be alive but currently receiving urgent medical attention.
But at exactly 1807, the rapid intervention vehicle that you see over there moved. It got here and realized that it was a building that collapsed. So we had to call in firemen from Medina, Adenta, Legon, Abelempe. All of us are here. Myself, the regional commander, I am here. When we got here, 5 people were trapped, but we managed to rescue 4. And the last person was the person that we just brought out, a female who was left under the wreckage. But we managed with the extrication tools that we had in the rapid intervention vehicle. We've managed to rescue the person and retrieve the body, and the body has been handed over to the police to be sent to the morgue.
So we're done picking up the last person that was trapped under the rubbles by. We can't declare the state of the person yet. We are moving right from here to 37 Hospital to first go check up on all those who were rescued to see their current state. Then from there tomorrow we'll come here, assess what was really the cause. Yes.
If you are calling it off at this point, is it that we conclusively can say that we don't believe there's no one trapped so far?
As it stands now, from all our search done, we believe definitely there is nobody trapped there. Because I mean, per the low data we gathered when we got here, we're told it was just about 4 or 5 people. And looking at the numbers rescued, I think we've been able to rescue all of them. And so as it stands now, we have 4 rescued and 1 that we can't determine her state now. And it is supposedly maybe the mother. That's what we think, yes.
Now, still on disasters, fire completely ravaged a police barracks at the Accra Central, destroying property running into thousands of Ghana cedis. The inferno, which began around 6 p.m. Wednesday, raged late into the night despite efforts by the Ghana National Fire Service to quench it. No casualty was recorded. Now, after about 5 hours of firefighting, the situation was brought under control, with fire officers needing about 3 tenders to completely douse the flame. And we'll bring you some more on this later. Now, you remember that yesterday marked 11 years after the tragic June 3 disaster claimed 150 lives in Accra. Survivors, families of victims and legal practitioners have renewed calls for justice and accountability. At a commemorative event marking the 11th anniversary, lawyers argued that many affected families have yet to receive the closure they deserve. In the following report, Evelyn Timmer recaps the incident and examines whether lessons from the tragedy have translated into concrete action to prevent a recurrence.
On the night of June 3, 2015, Accra stopped breathing. Rain had been falling for hours. Gutters overflowed. Streets around the Kwame Nkrumah Circle disappeared beneath brown floodwater. Drivers abandoned their cars. People searched for shelter at the Gull filling station near the circle, thinking that place was safer than the streets outside. Then came the explosion at the filling station. By dawn, Ghana had entered one of the darkest moments in its history. Official figures eventually placed the death toll at 150 people, with about 200 injured. The fire and flood disaster became known as June 3 disaster. Promises were made, with government vowing sweeping reforms.
I'm at a loss of words to express how I feel. We'll have to take some measures to be able to avoid this happening in the future.
City authorities pledged to improve drainage systems and enforce planning regulations. Parts of the Odo drain was dredged, but some have argued that recommendations were not fully enforced as drainage and sanitation problems persist. Unauthorized building in waterways continues, and flooding in Accra remains severe. 11 years on, survivors are still awaiting for compensation promised them.
We are suffering too much. Some of us perhaps are dead. But the compensation we're asking for the government, we didn't get it. When incidents happens, we get deliverance. People give gifts, you understand, money, for we self as victims. This eyes needs surgery. I didn't sleep at night. Every time my eyes drop water. If you happen to be in America or in any other country, this is I will remain the way you are. We'll be taken care of.
I lost my husband through this disaster. My child is also a victim. For 11 years now, there hasn't been any help.
11 years or 14 years.
Lawyers also continue to demand justice.
Some lost their entire families, and yet the justice they deserve remains painfully out of reach. In 2018, 69 victims took the bold step of seeking justice through the courts, filing a class action against GOIL, the National Petroleum Authority, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the station manager. Over the years, the truth has become clearer. GOIL's own witness admitted under cross-examination that the disaster could have been avoided.
Senor Jose is one of the conveners of the One Ghana movement fighting for the cause of the victims.
Today we call on the state, we call on His Excellency the President to act in the spirit of his resetting Ghana agenda. We believe His Excellency the President stands for building prosperity and restoring hope. Hence, the survivors and families of June 3 must not be left behind.
Here at the filling station where the incident happened 11 years ago, the place no longer functions. Rather, victims are gathered here every year to celebrate anniversary. And most of them say justice still feels incomplete. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
In other news, the Ghanese Municipal Assembly in the Greater Accra region has begun a major demolition exercise targeting buildings and structures constructed on waterways and flood-prone areas. Now, the exercise comes barely a week after a TV3 investigation exposed how encroachment on rivers, streams and water retention areas is contributing to perennial flooding across parts of the Greater Accra region. Joseph Armstrong Gold Alugbe has more in the following report.
On May 25, TV3 reported on some of the major causes of flooding in the national capital. The news team traced the flow of water from the Ebri Mountains through Kpongpo Hills, the Ado River, Kpongpo Yiri Stream, Kpongpo Machine Stream, Onyirishi River, Odo River, the Kole Lagoon, and finally into the sea. The investigation revealed extensive encroachment on waterways, wetlands and natural water retention areas that are critical to draining storm water during heavy rains. Many of these water bodies have either been narrowed, diverted or completely built over, obstructing the natural flow of water and increasing the risk of flooding. Following the report, officials of both the Ghan East and Lankwantena Municipal Assembly pledged to take action against illegal development on waterways. 1 week later, the assemblies have begun demolishing structures identified as obstructing the flow of water. At the Atomic Junction area, authorities identified portions of a major water retention basin that had been developed for residential and commercial purposes. According to the engineers, the area plays a critical role in holding access storm water during heavy rains, and its encroachment has reduced its capacity to prevent flooding.
This is about the fourth time the Assembly is here to carry out enforcement. When they started, the Assembly was here to do the demolition. And then during the Xmas break, I was told that was a year ago, they came back and then continued with the filling. The Assembly came back. And so what is happening here is about the developer virtually causing the Assembly to spend money to do enforcement.
Another critical point is the confluence of the Kpongpo Yiri and Oyirishi rivers, where portions of the flood plan have been filled and developed. Residents say they experience periodic flooding due to the structures on the waterway.
The time distance was not there. When it rains, we are free here.
The water flows?
Yeah, it goes.
Until the construction of
Yes, please.
That building there is the one block the water not to go. So the water have to start coming from that side to this side.
Engineers say these developments have significantly restricted water flow, contributing to flooding in Agbogba and neighboring communities whenever there is a heavy downpour.
What we are trying to do is to try to trace the channel of the upstream of Odo River, as we explained last week. We are now at the meeting point of the Onyansi and the Kotoiri River. And as you can see, we are coming with an excavator to try and clear any obstacle that we find on the way. You know the nature of our system. as to when these things came, it's difficult for us to tell. But
because of where it's located.
Because of where it's located. For now, we are here, and then we'll be mandated to take care of it.
Because we have big rivers are meeting here. The one from Meguri and the one from Medina. The two of them are meeting here, which is very dangerous that somebody can put up a building over here.
Meanwhile, the Medina Lankwantina Municipal Assembly has also commenced dredging works along sections of the Adokobi River to restore its carrying capacity ahead of the peak rainy season, to be followed with demolition of structures on the waterway. Assembly officials say the exercise is not a one-time intervention, but part of a broader strategy to reclaim waterways and enforce planning regulations. They have warned that all unauthorized structures found on waterways, wetlands, and flood retention areas will be removed regardless of ownership. Authorities believe the exercise will improve drainage, reduce the impact of flooding, and protect lives and property across the capital. Joseph Armstrong, Good Alubu TV3, Ga East.
Some more here, and the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has taken a swipe at foreign powers and development partners, accusing them of tying aid, trade and bilateral support to the adoption of legal and cultural values alien to Africa's social fabric. The Speaker was addressing the 4th African Interparliamentary Conference on Family, Sovereignty and Values in Accra.
At a time when Ghana is dealing with the fallout from the controversial Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin is taking the debate beyond Ghana's borders. Addressing African lawmakers in Accra, Bagbin demanded that foreign powers and development partners stop using aid, trade and bilateral support as pressure tools to influence or reshape African domestic laws.
We have in recent times witnessed a troubling narrative. Development assistance, trade agreements, natural resource agreements, and bilateral cooperation have been made contingent upon the adoption of legal and cultural paradigms alien to our social cultural fabric. I want to emphasize that conditioning aid on the alteration of domestic laws to the disadvantage of beneficial countries violates the principle of sovereign equality enshrined in the United Nations Charter. We in Africa do not seek to dictate the internal legal frameworks of other continents, and we expect in turn the same respect for our sovereignty.
Alban Bagbin further encouraged African lawmakers not to adopt an oversimplified or imported definition of the family unit, but preserve the institution of the family.
We must reflect our identity, our uniqueness, who we are. So a law that does not resonate with the spirit, history, and moral conscience of the citizenry is a dead law. As African legislators, our loyalty must remain anchored to the mandates given to us by our electors. There is the urgent need for us to redefine the African family structure in the 21st century. In trying to do so, we must avoid adopting an oversimplified or imported definition of the family.
The Speaker maintained that modernization does not mean erasing cultural identity.
To let us reject the false premises that modernization requires the erasure of our cultural identity.
Let's go back to our earlier story about fire ravaging buildings around the Accra Central District area. Martin Esiedudate has more for us.
Because this is a residential area. It looks like they have kept their gas cylinders inside. So it posed a great risk to us because we needed to know what we're dealing with and then be able to adopt a better approach in order to adequately deal with the fire. So now, as you can see, the fire is well under control.
So we know, like you indicated, it will take a bit of time. We're likely to run into the very early hours of tomorrow morning. But at what point would you say it is done and dusted, and then your fire tenders can start leaving the scene?
Well, it will be done and dusted. Looking at the progress we've made, in about 2 hours' time, I think we should be able to finish. As professionals as we are, we won't just leave the scene. Even when we leave, we'll make sure that we get one fire tender on standby or close by. Our station is just a walking distance from here. Our station Amakola is just a walking distance. So definitely we'll keep that tender either here. We'll keep that tender either here or over there, so that in case there's any reignition, which I very much doubt, because if we have done our work well, we should record any reignition. But then.
And Martin Asiodudate brought us that. That's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. Do continue with us on New Day.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabedim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank.
Military and all the relevant officials there just to save lives. Already per the stories that we've heard, the residents of the area tried to rescue as many as they could until they had these officials coming in. And this is happening at a time we were just marking the 11th anniversary of one of the biggest disasters the country ever has experienced, the June 3 fire and flood disaster, which claimed about 150 lives. And just when we're marking that, we see all of these things happening. So this morning, we really want to get your thoughts on these incidents that happened last night, the fire at Accra Central District area, and also the building collapse at Adenta New site. And again, we are also learning, and you might have seen that yesterday there was a statement issued from the Ministry of Health regarding what's happening at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, the fact that officials are turning away emergency patients. And that statement coming from the Health Ministry indicated that what was happening authorized by the management of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital was contrary to the directive given by the president earlier. And so the officials there have been asked, specifically the CEO, to meet the health minister this afternoon to explain why he has decided to go contrary to a directive by the president that no emergency patient should be turned away. And so a lot of things happening. My name is Beatrice Sedu, and you're welcome to New Day. It's still a rainy morning. It looks like it's still very cold even after the rains last night. But really, a lot of people are waking up to pain because of the injuries, the deaths, and the properties that have been destroyed. And so, rightly so, the song just played for you to let you know that whatever the situation, you can always have hope and believe that things can always get better. They say there's light at the end of the tunnel. So once again, welcome to New Day. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Very shortly, Bella will be joining us just to continue with this conversation. But we'll be going first to the Ashanti region to bring you update from the statements that I just mentioned to you about the Health Ministry statement directing the CEO of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital to see him because he has breached the directive given by the president that no emergency patients should be turned away. Perhaps I can just read to you that statement that was issued last night, just so you get to understand the details of that. And it was signed by the Chief Director for the Ministry of Health and Desmond Boateng, and the 3-paragraph statement says that the Ministry of Health has taken note of a statement with the above caption. So the above caption is query regarding Cath Accident and Emergency Center full and unable to admit new cases management, unquote. And that's what the ministry is referring to, saying that the Ministry of Health has taken note of a statement with the above caption making rounds on social media. Further, the head of public affairs of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital was heard on Channel 1 TV News affirming the decision of hospital management on the inability of the emergency center to admit new cases. This is contrary to a clear directive of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, to hospitals not to turn away emergency cases. You are, by this letter, requested to appear before the Honorable Minister of Health on or before the 12th of noon, Thursday, June 4, that is today, 2026, to explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against you for contradicting a clear directive of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. We count on your cooperation. And like I said, this statement was issued yesterday following, we brought you news update the whole of the day, and is signed by Desmond Boateng, Chief Director, and of course on behalf of the Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta Akando. And Bella is here. Hi, Bella.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I like the colors that you're wearing today. It's
Thank
actually
you.
very beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm wearing black. I'm mourning, you know, the loss of lives and loss of properties from last night. I mean, I always say that we always sound like a broken record.
Yes.
Every single time we get into this conversation, we talk about how our roads are not properly done. And so, I mean, this morning I was listening to another journalist who was describing it as having one side of the road becoming a drainage, option for the water because it has no option.
It's crazy.
Than to use that side.
Yes.
And so especially on the airport road, for example, if you're heading towards the Accra Mall, whenever it rains, you always have to veer off into the outer lane because the inner lane is completely flooded
and
there's nothing you can do.
Around what they call spanner.
Exactly.
On that same stretch.
Even before spanner. So right after the airport second traffic light, when you're heading towards the old Shangri-La, before that traffic light, that turns to Polo. That side is always taken over by floodwater. So you always have to veer off to the other side. On the opposite side as well, same story. And that's not the only place that we're experiencing floods lately. Now, even areas where you never expected to be flooded, all those areas are flooding.
Because we blocked our drainages.
I saw videos from Abokobi. It took people 5 hours. Someone said she left the office at 6:30 p.m. She didn't get home till 11. And, Abokobi, Pantine area was completely flooded because I saw people's homes, cars submerged, East Legon Hills flooded, Kaneshi flooded. I saw the wares of market women being swept away by the water. Spintex, another area that also gets flooded. I can only imagine what may be happening in Adabraka at this point because I know that usually at that point as well, we have a lot of issues concerning flooding all the way leading to Graphic Road. I don't know what the situation is like this morning, but it just is a major problem that we seem not to be fixing. We're doing a lot more talk shop than actually fixing the problem. We have some brilliant engineers in the country. So the question is, what's happening? Why are we not getting things right?
Last night when I saw the demolition in certain parts of the country, I was, okay, where were the municipal assemblies? Where were those who were supposed to ensure that the permits you've been giving, it is actually to the right place? You're not building on waterways because some of these buildings, I mean, people have maybe taken loans or their life savings and they've put into them. I know that there are those who may disregard the fact that you're building on waterways and still go ahead. And at the end of the day, they lose their money. But there are those who may not necessarily know. They paid for the land and they did what they had to do. And at the end of the day, later you have higher officials, authority, I mean, coming in to demolish their structures. It's incomprehensible how we do things. And again, as you're driving, you see the plastics on the road.
All over.
So it tells you that they were choked in the gutters.
You see, when we talk about the fact that as citizens we're able to disregard the rules and regulations, the laws that have been put together by the state to ensure that there's order in the country, I find it very worrying because we are the same ones who would travel outside and even respect road regulations.
You
dare not cross the red light. You dare not speed beyond the speed limit on a certain stretch. How much more building at a place where you're not permitted? The thing is, you can't even get a piece of land in the first place to even think of constructing any building
because
there.
of how land administration
so we
is
respect the laws out there, but when it comes here, the people who are supposed to ensure that the laws are respected, they're taking something small on the side to allow you to flout the rules and regulations. Then there's us who think that we're above the law, and so, abai, me man is kaka krebi pe, obo beji bribe. And that's why we are where we are today. So is the president right to an extent when he says that it's an attitudinal problem that we have? Yes, 100%. The attitudinal problem is not just about us, the citizens. It's even the people at the top, at the helm of affairs, because they are not getting the job done. And that's why it's so easy for us to disregard some of these laws that we have. Because how on earth do you even go and build in a place? You can see that there's a large drainage behind you. You've been told, move now. By no permits by AMA, but that's when you see that they are painting the building.
And nobody bites.
And where are the officials? Because if you now come and write, move now, no permits, etc. Where were you when the person was building? I always say that they wait till you've constructed your building, you've reached lintel level, roofing, whatever, then they now come and write, no permits, produce permits. Where were you when the people were working from the ground? And
even how we try to hold people accountable. Yesterday, I saw a statement of somebody saying that she was in an Uber when a police officer stopped the driver and said, you crossed red light, and wrote a piece of paper and gave to the driver that report yourself. And the person was saying elsewhere, by the time you get to that destination, I mean, your bill will be waiting for you. And I remember one of my lecturers telling a funny story. He studied in the UK and he was with a friend and they were driving and this guy just threw the bottle out. By the time they got there, there was a bill already. The next time when they were at a party, he finished drinking and he was holding his bottle. He wouldn't even put it in a bin. So when the law bites, people will behave.
Who is making the law bite? Who is biting the biter? It's a very worrying situation. And if you are counting your losses this morning, our heart goes out to you. It's not easy having to spend so much to buy property, to put up your building, and now having to deal with floods. I always get scared when people are walking in the water, because if there's electricity or there's, power connection in the house, I'm asking myself, what if? When they're doing the videos and stuff, it's like I'm always on panic mode when I see those things. I worry for the children as well. I worry for people's properties. It's very disturbing, but we'll get into that conversation much later on the big issue. We'll also be taking a look at the supports that the Christian Council is giving to the president with regards to assenting the LGBTQ bill, because the president says that it has to go through a number of legal and constitutional processes before it will come to his table for him to sign.
Because
and so once the legal team at the office of the president approves, the bill as it has been passed by Parliament, then he has no option but to sign. The Christian Council says we should allow due process to take place. Let's be patient. At the end of the day, we'd rather have the right things done now than have to go back to court and deal with a lot of suits, etc. And so we'll be getting into that conversation, throwing some more light on it. But this morning, we'll be crossing over to the Ashanti region. And like you rightly said, yesterday, the CEO of the Komfo Teaching Hospital indicated that there was going to be a 24-hour cease or pause on admissions at the emergency unit as well. He has received a query from the Minister of Health. But the bigger question, the bigger conversation about this is, why is the Komfo Teaching Hospital the largest hospital that's taking care of the entire Ashanti region and other regions as well, plus other countries? Because we're told that there are people from Benin, from Togo, from Burkina Faso who actually also get referred to the hospital as well. Meanwhile, we've had the Afari Hospital that's been sitting for many years, over a decade. We're waiting for it to be completed, for it to be operationalized. Yesterday, I was looking at current pictures at the place. It's grown. The weeds have overgrown. Exactly. So what is happening? Then there's the Sewa Hospital as well. We're waiting for that to be officially open, because I remember that former President Akufo-Addo commissioned it somewhere in January 2025. That's when the new government took over. That was commissioned. We're told that there's some equipment in there. They all have expiry dates. How long are we waiting before we operationalize some of these structures that will take away the burden from the Komfo Teaching
I mean, it reminds me of the story of the Major Children's Hospital as well, around the Amasaman area, where we recently had residents demonstrating, asking that something be done about it. But shortly, we'll be speaking to Desmond Aka, who is head of public relations at the Ghana National Fire Service. And again, let me remind you that there was a major fire yesterday at the Accra Central area and destroyed really the entire property, as we saw in visuals. We'll be bringing you those visuals again. And so we'll bring you that and have that conversation with the National Fire Service, Desmond Aka, who is the head of public relations. He should be joining us very shortly. And you're welcome to the This Morning segment. So here on Newday on TV3, welcome to the This Morning segment. And if you've joined us from the beginning, we've been telling you about the disasters that occurred last night. The Adenta building collapse, So far, we understand one person has died and a number of people injured, currently recovering at the hospital. And also, there was fire at the Accra Central area. We showed you the buildings earlier. Hopefully, we're able to bring the visuals back to you. And the entire building really ravaged by fire. And we want to get an understanding of what's happening right now, even before we go to Kumasi in the Shanti region to bring you the latest as regards the Konfanochi issue. These are visuals that we're showing you right now on the Adenta building collapse. I was telling you earlier that we had one of our colleagues, Joseph Akable, bring us information regarding what transpired, how the people in the area tried to save lives even before we had the fire service, the police, military, among others, coming in to also, you know, help with the rescue with their machinery and all of that. And let's speak now to DO2 Desmond Aka. He is the head of public relations at the Ghana National Fire Service. If you can hear us, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Morning and thanks for having me.
First of all, kindly bring us an update on the Adenta building collapse. Earlier, we were told that it was a 4-story building. So far, we know that one person has died and a number of people were taken from under the rubble. Just bring us the latest on it and the circumstances surrounding what actually led to the collapse.
All right, so thank you for the opportunity. Let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers. What I can say about the Adenta Newside structural collapse is that we were able to save 4 victims, and currently they are receiving treatment at the 37 military hospital. Unfortunately, we lost one female by name Margaret Belly, who is believed to be in her late 30s. Her body was handed over to the Adenta District Police officers who are at the scene for preservation and then further investigation. We understand that the building is a 2-story structure. The second floor was uncompleted, with the first floor being fully habitable, where these 5 individuals believed to be a family were residing. And unfortunately, the building collapsed on them. In the course of our search and rescue operations, we succeeded in also rescuing their pet, which happens to be a dog, from under the rubble. We want to express on behalf of the chief officer and the entire management of the service, want to express our condolences to the bereaved family who've lost their precious family member in such unfortunate circumstances. We would want to urge assemblies, various assemblies across Ghana, whose jurisdictions have some of these compromised structures which are not fit for habitation, to swiftly move in to inspect such facilities and evacuate.
Quite an unfortunate situation. I hope you're still on the line with us. But do I get the understanding that these individuals were renting that 2-story building which collapsed yesterday?
For that one...
Hello, Mr. Aka?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead. We can.
Yes, so we can't confirm whether they were renting or they were trying to find shelter in that affected structure. But we can say that the second floor was not completed. It was only the first floor that had some apartments which was being occupied by these family of 5. And unfortunately, one has passed on.
And earlier you were urging assemblies within which we find these buildings to be up and do their work. What have you been told as regards what might have led to the structural defect, if I may put it, that led to the collapse of this building eventually?
So yesterday, from hindsight, you would understand that the past portions of the building were uncompleted. They facilitated the water from soaking in certain parts, and that is what also led to, already the building was not that fair. It was compromised, and in terms of integrity and then the strength, it was suspect, and therefore when the heavy rains also added a toll on it, eventually had to come down. But one thing that we must also say is to give commendation to the community members who rushed in to rescue 2 of the victims even before our arrival. And we want to also commend the other agencies who came in to support us to rescue the other 2 persons who were trapped under the rubble.
Ms. Aka, do I hear you say that the assembly perhaps knew that this building had issues and didn't do what it was supposed to do? It failed even ahead of this?
I can't confirm that, but what we saw yesterday, it tells us that the building was in a very compromised position, and therefore, with the advent of the rain, it made it so easy for the collapse to have happened.
Let me ask you this again. The individuals that you were able to take from under the rubble, you did mention that they are at the hospital. Can you tell us their state right now? Yes.
Information that we received from the caregivers at the hospital earlier this morning is indicating of the fact that they are receiving treatment. Some of them suffered fractures. Others also had some bruises. And therefore, they have to manage them for some time before they can discharge them.
Life-threatening or not?
So far, it is not life-threatening.
Let's move to the fire at the Accra Central area. We saw a story building as well, completely engulfed in fire. Tell us about what happened, how many, in terms of the levels, whether it was 2 or 3-story building, and we were told earlier again that there was no casualties, fortunately, no casualty in that.
Yes, so that is the Accra Central Police Barracks Annex. It's a 1-story structure containing 32 rooms. We had a call around 8:05, and within 2 minutes, our firefighters from the Accra City had already gotten to the scene. But we are suspecting that the fire started way beyond the 8:05 when we received the call, because by the time we got there, just within 2 minutes, the fire had already gotten out of control. It has reached its fully developed stage, and at that stage, it becomes very difficult for fire to be contained. And that is how come we were able to marshal 5 tenders from Accra City, from ministries, parliament, industrial area, and then circle, with the support of a water tanker to be able to bring this inferno to full containment as at 3:41 a.m. this morning. So it tells you that there were a lot of combustible materials at play in that particular structure. Apart from the police barracks annex, there was another 1-story structure which was just close to it. That was also affected, with everything in it raised down by the fire. But the firefighters succeeded in controlling the fire from affecting the waterworks structure and other adjoining structures from being totally ravaged by the fire. Unfortunately, we had one severe injury by one of our firefighters in the course of firefighting operation. One of the coupling disengaged, and with the pressure that it came, it hit his chest, and he collapsed unconsciously. So we had to whisk him away to the police hospital. We understand that he has recovered and is receiving treatment. We are hoping that he gets well soon to join us to do what we are known best of doing. Aside the firefighter who critically got injured, there was not any civilian casualty recorded. And that is the fortunate part of the unfortunate incident that happened at Accra Central yesterday.
All right. Well, sir, so if I may ask, were the people on the ground able to salvage any properties at all, or was the entire building engulfed and, razed down to the ground as well as the properties?
Like I said, the police barracks annex was totally destroyed, including an adjoining 1-story building. But aside that, the waterworks structure, which was close by, and several adjoining structures were also salvaged by the firefighters. Our team of investigators are on the grounds currently trying to detect the origin and the exact cause of fire. So as and when we get further and better particulars about what actually led to this fire, we will let the public know.
And if I may ask, this won't be the first time that we're recording market fires this year alone. I don't know if you have the statistics with you, but how many of them have we recorded so far? We're in the 6th month of the year 2026. Do you have those details?
Well, this is not a market fire per se. This is a residential fire.
Okay.
Yesterday, we recorded one shop fire around the Makola area. But even that, as at the time we got there, they had been able to contain the situation. As at 12:51 this morning, that is where we have a fire call at Makola. So every now and then we get commercial fires. If you check the statistics, apart from residential fires, which are always topping the league, the next highest fire is commercial fire, which involves our shops and our market centers. So it tells us that there are a lot of things that we are not doing right. We are still cooking in the market. We are still engaging in illegal wiring. We are still not disposing our refuse properly, especially in the makeshift market. So we will still appeal to the market managers and the various assemblies who, have an direct oversight responsibility over these commercial centers to ensure that they enforce their bylaws and then ensure that some of these fires, most of them are preventable. So when we get certified competent electricians who will do this wiring for all the shops, these illegal wiring, which are rife in some of these makeshift markets, will be a thing of the past. And we will save ourselves from losing countless number of shops and properties from these devastating fires. These are basics, but we always will not do the right thing, and these fires will continue to gut property. We don't understand. So, Bella, kindly help us to educate the public.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. DO2 Desmond Aka is the head of public relations at the Ghana National Fire Service. But the rains are still coming. In fact, we've heard from the Ghana Meteo Agency, and they're telling us that it's very likely that the rains this year is going to be the worst we've experienced in the last 30 years. And so we need to brace ourselves for whatever may come. But the question is, are we even ready as a nation?
Exactly.
Beyond being ready individually, are we even ready as a nation? Because our roads are getting flooded, our homes are getting flooded, we're continuing to choke our gutters with plastics, etc. And so what exactly needs to be done in order to ensure that we're able to salvage the little that we have left?
Because the challenge is you're already having issues with global warming, climate change, all of those things. And so if you're not putting the right measures in place, you're only worsening an already bad situation.
Absolutely.
And we're hoping that the fire officer who also got injured, we heard him there tell us that he was severely injured. He would recover soon. Of course, together with those who were rescued from under the rubble yesterday within the Adenta area. But I've been listening to the latter part of what he was saying. It's obvious that he's also a bit taken aback that we seem to be talking about the same problems every day. We're talking about illegal connections and not getting professional electricians to fix our wiring and all of those things. And so, it's the same. It's like a cycle. You're talking about the same problems, giving you disasters every time, and you don't seem to be dealing with it.
Well, let's speak to Mr. Joseph Portufi. He's the Deputy Director of Synoptic Meteorology and Forecasting. Good morning, Joseph. I hope you're well.
Very well. Good morning, and thank you for having me.
The rains came down yesterday, and we've seen the effect that it's had on our environment, on the lives of people as well. What can you tell us? What should we expect in the coming days?
Yes. Very well. As I said, June is the peak of our rainy season, especially those of us along the coast and the middle belt. So when we get into June, we should brace ourselves. And what I've been saying is that currently the resilience level of our cities, such as Accra, is too down. It's very, very low. So while the resilience level is very low, we have consistent rain of about 3, 4, 5 hours. It will definitely cause a lot of flash floods. And it is not only the rain in Accra also that is causing this, because we have the rains from the mountains, from the Green Mountains, all have to pass through Accra into the sea. So when it happens like that, our drainage systems cannot contain the rains that are coming. So we just have to brace ourselves and make sure that at least we protect our lives and property. We'll get out of this zone.
Can you give us some more specifics? Because as of yesterday up until this morning, we encountered more than 3-4 hours of heavy rainfall in various parts of the city and beyond. Should we expect even worse today or the rest of the week?
Oh, for today, no. For today, I think the western sectors and northern part of the country, western region, eastern region, part of the central region, that is the Brema, Sukuma, Asifosu, and its environs, they are still in the rain. They are still in the rain. They are still in the rain. But for us here, for today, I think what we had is enough. And then after 11, 12, 10, 11, 12 to 1, we get the sunshine to dry down all the things for us. We will not have any rain yet, but it has passed. It is what has come. It's a system that developed yesterday, and then so once that system has passed, it will take about 3 or 4 days for another one to develop and pass again.
Okay. So 3 or 4 days for us to experience the level of heaviness that we experienced last night, you mean?
Oh, not the level we experienced last night. But we should experience 1 or 2 of these before we get out of the rainy season. Okay. We should experience this before we get out of the rainy season. Yes.
Well, we're in for the long haul. The rainy season doesn't end after June, does it? We're on till... Yes.
No.
Till a few more months.
Major rainy season will end by July. We'll get to a dry spell. August, September, October, we'll get to the minor season again. So we are until we get out of the rainy season, that will be around November. Yes.
I mean, now we can't even predict sometimes when the rains will come. For you, who does the forecasting and you do all the work on it, can you tell us exactly what's causing us to have more rainfall? We're told that this could be the worst we've suffered or we will suffer in the last 30 years.
Oh, yes. As you'll be saying, with the climate change, when there's change in the system, it means the pattern that you have may not be followed. So you have excessive rain, some will have excessive rain, some may not have the rain at all, some areas may not have the rain at all. So those are the causes that is facing. Instead of the rain to spread for maybe 60 millimeters, 50 millimeters for 4 or 5 days, it will come about 100 millimeters, 200 millimeters, and that will cause a lot of harm. And that is what is happening.
Mr. Potofi, we know that per the data, Accra receives the least of rains. But tell us this year, what should we look forward to in terms of which parts of the country would receive the heaviest of rains?
Well, the heaviest rain will go to the western side that are doing any environment. They have the heaviest rain. But you see, because the resilience level of those areas is very, very high, they will do the rain to come there, but they will not have the havoc that we are experiencing here. Because, yes, when you look at our Accra itself, every home has been paid. I've been saying it. Everybody has paid his home. We build houses, we build structures, we build sports, we build roads. So when it rains, the water must find somewhere to pass. And in your home, it will come to the road. Every home will come to the road. And it's called a flash flood. But if we were to leave some areas in our home for the water to percolate into the soil, it will reduce this flash flood. So once the resilience level of Accra is low, any little rain that will come will cause some places to be flooded. Yes.
Well, we probably have to end it here.
Yes, we do.
Joseph Potofi, Deputy Director of Synoptic Meteorology and Forecasting at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Thank you so much for joining us and for bringing us those details. We did tell you that we'll be going to the Ashanti region because of what's happening there. The Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, to be specific, and the subsequent statement issued by the Ministry of Health. William Evans Inkum is our man in that part of the country. He joins us live via video call. William, yesterday we did speak to you in the afternoon about the hospital's decision not to attend to emergency cases because the place was full. And before the day ended, there was a statement from the Ministry of Health. Tell us what the situation is currently and perhaps how officials at the hospital are taking this latest statement from the ministry.
Of the statement that was issued, the assumption is that the hospital is now back to full operation. And let me be very specific. We're talking about the accident and emergency units. So I think it would be very appropriate to use units instead of the hospital. So the unit is back to full operation per the statement. But the reality is that it is a 37-bed capacity unit. And of course, they are always overwhelmed by the numbers that are coming. I'm talking about emergency cases. Because on the average, if what the statement said, the earlier statement said is anything to go by, then they are recording 61 cases, emergency cases on the average every day. And they'll always have a backlog, or if you like, some cases pending to be attended to. And that is the reality. Of course, I mean, if you go to the accident emergency units, you still see a patient still lying on the floor, waiting for doctors to attend to them. So it is a reality.
So if I hear you correctly, they might have obeyed the directive, but the challenges still persist. How does that impact the quality of health care delivery?
Well, of course, I mean, you don't need to be, you don't need to read, rocket science to be able to decipher how it's going to affect, quality of health. I mean, looking at the number of emergency cases that are coming in. And this is a major referral center serving the northern sector. So we are talking about 10 regions, maybe more, who all referred their emergency cases to the Confirmatory Teaching Hospital. So certainly, the pressure there is enormous. And I can tell you sometimes some of the doctors are frustrated because you have to overwork if only you are committed. And of course, every doctor is committed, but the point is that sometimes, or most times, they overwork. And that is something that you also cannot gloss over as far as medical operation at the accident and emergency unit is concerned. And of course, Venice, it's also, press the question on what is happening to the other peripheral hospital projects. And I'm sure we are going to talk about the Afari, military hospital, which has stalled over years. Look, some of us, anytime this particular conversation comes up, somebody who is engrossed, not me, but somebody or anybody who is engrossed in position probably would want to ask the boss why the Afari military hospital remain in its current state. Because it is more or less becoming a mystery. Look, this is a $180 million project, which was initiated in 2008. Now, it has seen some level of spiral in terms of commencement. The initial plan was for it to be set up in Kumasi and specifically Sokoline. Then it was moved to Tamarit. Then it came to 37 military. Then it came back to the Ashanti region, but this time around, Now, 2014, there was a major move, and that is to say, a sword was cut for the project to commence. It could not commence in 2015. The project commenced, and that is to say, contractors that immediately invest moved to site to commence the $180 million hospital project. As at 2 years ago, and that was my last visit to the place. Aside yesterday, having visited for the purpose of this particular conversation, the information was that the country owed Aerojet to invest an amount of $36 million. The government then was not convinced about that particular arrears, so they attempted to negotiate it down to $19 million. What I know the last negotiation was that it was still that even the $19 million was being analyzed. Value for money, if I should put it that way. But that was it. I don't have any information whether there has been any development or progress as far as that particular negotiation is concerned. Maybe the contractor and the current administration will be in a better position to explain that to us. But the fact of the matter is that we were told that after a military hospital had reached about 90 to 95% completion. Now the big question is, 90 to 95% completion, it should be fit enough to operate. So why is it not operational? It is a multi-dollar question. But even as I speak to you now, yesterday when the aide to the regional minister also issued a statement pertaining to happenings at the Accident Emergency Center. I mean, interestingly, after a military hospital was never mentioned as a project that is going to be given some level of attention. So you don't know what is happening.
That's the thing. We don't know what is happening. And I wish we could even expatiate on this matter with Afari Military Hospital. But even beyond that, there's also the Sewa Hospital. And I remember that the chief of Sewa, as of September last year, had even appealed to government officials to operationalize that particular hospital. I know it has been commissioned as at the time that the former president was leaving office. What is stalling the operationalization of Sewa as well?
Well, for want of a better word, we just have to get it in fact, because they have been back and forth. And that is why I say that, well, maybe this whole thing is embroidered in mystery. And maybe we all need to go and ask the boss what is happening. Because Sewia Hospital, at first, it was a plant issue, that the hospital is ready, but we needed a stabilized power supply. So we needed to acquire a plant, that is a stable to acquire a plant, to be able to ensure that the hospital operates. Then it moves from plant issue to road network, connecting the hospital. And currently, that is what we know, that road to the facility is in a very bad shape and it needs some level of rehabilitation.
All right.
Aside that, every other thing is ready for the hospital to operate. So if this is not mystery, then I don't know what better words probably you can use to describe the situation. So, Bella,
I can tell that whenever we bring up this topic, you get very frustrated. But Evans, maybe another time we'll make some more time so we can get into the details of these two hospitals and hopefully get the government to operationalize them or complete them. But thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. William Evans Inkum is the head of the Northern Bureau for Media General. But we're reminding you that as you're watching us this morning, you probably are having your hot tea or a hot chocolate this morning. And so why not go ahead and have it with Perk Milk Biscuits. Perk up your day with the Milky Way with the rich, smooth taste of Perk Milk Shortcake. It is pure delight. The Big Issues takes over after this.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmini, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Ghana's Most Beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's Most Beautiful, 20 years of culture, grace and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmini, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Ghana's Most Beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's Most Beautiful, 20 years of culture, grace and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmeni, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Ghana's Most Beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's Most Beautiful, 20 years of culture, grace and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmeni, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Ghana's Most Beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's Most Beautiful, 20 years of culture, grace and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmeni, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Ghana's Most Beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's most beautiful 20 years of culture, grace, and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmini, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Ghana's most beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's most beautiful 20 years of culture, grace, and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
But we're on now, and of course my guests are here, so let me go quickly into the introductions. So right next to me I have Ibrahim Bashiru. He's a former deputy CEO, YEA, and also a member of the NPP. Good morning.
Good morning.
They say real men wear pink. I like the pink you're wearing today.
Oh, that's good.
That's good, eh?
Yeah.
It's good to see you, sir. I hope
you.
you're well.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
I hope there's no flooding in your area.
In fact, I don't want to talk about the flooding. I just want to, because as I'm sitting here, I'm emotionally traumatized.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah,
we'll come to that.
Yes.
Maybe later, before you go, you can tell us a bit about it. By that time, you'd have tried to suppress the emotions a bit. But also seated next to him, we have Mr. Hopeson Adoye. He's a former parliamentary candidate for Pong Katamanso and a member of the United Party. It's good to see you on the show finally.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Great. You're also looking good.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We're trying to look local beautiful this morning.
That's right.
And also, Mr. Bernard Bediako is the MP for Akwetia and also a member of the NDC. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I see you have a lot of documents. You are in for a lot of information.
And the very topic we're brought here to discuss. I hope you're fine.
I am, by God's grace, yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And also joining us via Zoom is Bishop Matthew Kwesi Jemfi. He's the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference. And, sir, good morning. I hope you're well.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm doing okay.
It's good to have you on the show as well. And it's important that we have him on the show this morning, especially looking at the conversation that we're about to have. Now, we all know that just at the end of May 2026, the LGBTQ plus anti-LGBTQ bill, which is the Family Values Bill, was passed in Parliament, and we're all waiting for the President to assent to this bill. The President has spoken on the matter, and he says that it's not as simple as we think. Of course, once the bill comes to his office, it has to go through some legal and constitutional reviews, and when that team has okayed the document and it's okay for him to sign, that is when he will be able to sign it. The minority is crying foul on this because they're asking why there was a lot of hula baloo when the former president, Akufo-Addo, was unable to sign it, because the majority today were insisting that he needed to sign, and the only reason he wasn't signing was because he just didn't want to assent to it. Now they're asking why the president suddenly thinks that it has to go through some processes before he's able to assent the bill into law. The Christian Council, however, has been speaking on this matter, and they're saying that we should allow due process to take place. Let's allow the processes to, grind slowly, and when it's time, the president can go ahead to assent. And so we'll be speaking to Bishop on this matter to throw some more light on it and other issues, because I do understand that as at the time this bill was passed, we heard from the Christian Council, they were very excited, well, I won't say excited, but they were happy that finally this bill had been passed, because it meant that we're making progress. Bishop, at this point, if you are happy that the bill has been passed, a lot of people are saying that if it's been passed, then the president should just go ahead and sign it. Why do you think that it's important we give him the time? And maybe before I ask you this question, let's hear from the president. Okay, let me just come to you. Why do you think it's important that we give the president time to go through the due process before he assents the bill into law? Bishop, are you there?
Thank you very much. Yes. You see, there is a process, a way to do everything. If you may, I may say there is a method. If you use the wrong method, you get a wrong answer. So, if there is established method for passing a bill before it gets to the president, it is required that you follow those methods. Otherwise, something will go wrong somewhere. And that is why we believe that due process must be followed. As Parliament itself has the method which they use to pass a bill, they should not skip the method now.
Okay, but if that's the case, then the minority is also asking questions about how they think the bill was rushed. And they won't be the only ones. In fact, Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Bagbin, has directed Parliament at this point to reconsider the past anti-LGBTQ bill, because he said that at the time when he was leaving Parliament to attend to other matters, he only directed them to consider the bill in the first stage and not to pass it. So he was actually surprised when he found out that it had been passed. What do you say to that?
Well, we are not in Parliament. We are not parliamentarians. We have sent wise, intelligent men and women whom we suppose love the country to go there to pass laws that will uplift our country. And within Parliament, we here, they have their own regulations and methods and systems on how to pass the laws. So if they have used those methods, then the Speaker has no reason to come back to say, let's reconsider. On the other hand, if they did not use those methods, then the Speaker will have cause to say, let us sit back and follow due process. We do not know their laws. We are not required to know. They made those laws and they are supposed to follow it. What we are interested in is that they do the right thing, and as fast and quick as the law requires. We are not interested in this wrangling. They know what they are supposed to do. Why do they delay? Why do they not do what they are supposed to do? We are getting too tired of Parliament and this wrangling, which are unnecessary. Ghanaians are not interested in their internal politics. We are interested in Ghana, and they should deliver. And they should do the right things for Ghana.
What if the right things would also delay the bill further? Because, again, I've read a statement where, your group had also expressed joy after the bill was passed. And so if you're saying that due process has to be followed, rightly so, that may also delay the process. Are you, as a community, ready for that delay?
Now, we were very happy that the bill had been passed. And when we say we were happy, we were assuming and we knew or we believed that they had used due process. We are not saying they should use wrong methods to pass the bill. And when we were happy, we thought that they had used due process and that the content of the bill has also been affirmed. And that is why we were happy, because this bill had already been passed previously by both sides of the aisle. And if they had made some minor adjustments here and there to polish the law to make it even better than before, then why should we not be happy? So we are very disturbed that this time there is division. And what is the cause of the division? We do not know. Once again, we are not in Parliament. We are not there. We do not know instructions which the Speaker gave them. And whether they follow that instructions, which instructions probably could be the right way, and which instructions he may be saying, they have gone against this instruction, this law, this due process. So what can we do other than Parliament to sit up and do the right things which they know they should do, and they can do that expeditiously, as quickly as possible, without compromising any content of the law and without compromising any process. Our Parliament is capable of doing this. They should avoid this politics which are not in the interest of Ghanaians, and we are not interested in their politics and flexing muscles here and there. They know what to do. They can do it. They should do it.
Well, speaking of what is of interest to Ghanaians, the minority is also accusing the governing NDC in Parliament of altering the bill to some extent. In fact, there was a press conference that was held. We saw one of the sponsors of the bill, who's the MP for Asin South, Dr. Reverend Ntim Fojo, indicates that there had been some 31 amendments made to the bill. And he's asking questions as to why, if the NDC thought that the bill in its original form had no problem, why they didn't forward that to President Mahama to go ahead and assent to. Why make all these alterations, deletions, reviews, etc., and present a newer bill to Parliament? I don't know if you've been able to peruse a part of that document where those changes have been made, where it provides some security, more like for persons who may speak on the matter, so from journalists to doctors who may have to offer or render services to persons within the LGBTQ community, etc. Where do you stand as a conference on this?
Well, we do not know whether these things were in the first in the bill that they passed or not.
You didn't get to read the first bill. I thought, as the Christian Council as well, you were also instrumental in the finalization of that bill as at the time it was passed.
No, at the time when it is being presented, yes, we have read it. We have read what was there. But they did a lot of discussions, debates. They got inputs from here and there. But the final draft that they were going to place on the president's desk, we have not seen it. We have not seen that bill. And so what we are saying is that if the amendments that they have made does not affect the law significantly, it does not erode the purpose for which the bill is being passed, then it should not make much difference. But if it significantly affects the law, the essence, the purpose of the law, then we have cause for concern. And this is where our parliamentarians sit down and look at the issues. You said we have eroded the law. Okay, show us which area, what amendments have we made that actually erodes the law of its essence. Then you also show us why you think that you have made this amendment, but it does not affect significantly the essence of the law. they can dialogue this within few days, or even, I think, within 1 day. Arrive at a compromise. There is a consensus of our parliamentarians who are talking for us. And then they put it on the desk of the president.
All right. Well, so that clearly means that they have not given you the update on the new bill with regards to the exemptions. But let me just read a few aspects of it for you. So the key exemptions in the 2025 bill, we're told that legal professionals who are providing legal representation or services to the LGBTQ community are protected from sanctions. Researchers, now the publication of an academic, scientific or medical opinion on LGBTQ issues also exempted, unlike the previous bill where we're told that anybody who is seen to be propagating the message or promoting, in essence, the LGBTQ bill and its community would face some sanctions. Now, we're told that medical professionals are also exempted from prosecution for providing routine health services to LGBTQ plus individuals, and media organizations and journalists are no longer legally penalized for reporting on LGBTQ plus issues in the course of their professional work. These are some exemptions that have been introduced in the new bill. Yes, Bishop, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
You see, some of these things, that is why I'm saying that when